Hi guys, welcome to Assembly Required. I'm going to do a little tutorial on how to take the arms off. You can also do this with the legs, the knees, the elbows. I don't get that far into it because typically I like to keep all my parts the same so they match. But if you want to swap out lower arms, you just do the same thing, boil and pop method. Find the camera here. What I normally do is I'll just put an incision somewhere on the vest, pull it apart, and then put it on the figure I want to put it on, glue it back up, because chances are I'm probably going to be gluing it down somewhere anyway because I like it to fit tight. But this one, what we're going to do is pop these arms off, try and slide the vests off, and then we're going to be swapping some parts around. These figures will keep their same arms. I'm just taking the arms off so that I can get the vest off without having to cut them. So we'll see how that goes. So what I got here is some water that I've put in the microwave. I usually work in the 4-inch scale. So if you take a coffee cup, fill it full of water, put it in the microwave for about 2 minutes, I found works good for me. I could take that cup out, I can jam 2 or 3 figures in that cup, let them sit for about a minute or so, pull them out, pop the arms off. Legs, I tend to just pop the legs off. I've never had a problem with legs, but you can boil the legs also. Pop the arms off. If I already have the arm sitting there, I'll put the new one in because the torso's still warm and flexible. If not, you just grab the other figure out, pull the arms out, swap them around. You want to do it while it's still warm so the plastic's pliable. So what I'm going to do is soak these dudes. I think this is still warm. So I'll soak them. The bigger guys, you have to let them soak longer, obviously, because the plastic's thicker. So we'll give it a shot and see how that goes. So what we'll do is we'll take a brief intermission, let these guys soak in the hot tub, and what I typically do is I'll pull them out, give them a little tug, and see if they're ready to pop out. They may not be. Put them back in. With these bigger figures in a bigger tub of water, I may have to pop it back in the microwave a little bit. I'll take the dudes out, warm up the water some more, and just keep going. Yeah, I just give them a little tug, see if they'll pull out. Sometimes they just pop straight out if they've been in there long enough. And then, like I said, hurry up and jam the other one back in before it cools, or else you'll have to reheat it all over again. So while these guys are in the hot tub taking a bath, we'll take a small break, grab you a sandwich, a beer, whatever you want to do, and we'll be right back. Alright, we're back. As you can see, I did a test and they should be ready to go. So all you have to do is pull them out. Try not to burn yourself with the hot water. And oops, give him a pull. As you can see, the butterfly joint popped out. So we'll tuck that back in. Put that in there. And what I like to do is whenever I grab the arm, I try and grab it up here around that shoulder joint. Because if you grab it down here or down here, you're just going to separate these sections of arm. So I grab it up here, kind of put my thumb in there to try and hold that butterfly joint in, and just give it a slight steady tug, and it should just pop out. So we'll pop him back in here, keep him warm while I take this guy apart. I think I forgot to mention, this is classified beachhead, obviously. This is the cable figure from the last Deadpool movie. As you can see, I pulled the arm apart. Burning myself with hot water. Really don't want to put any tools on this. I might be able to just slide this off, because these do not want to come out. If you put pliers or something on it, you run the risk of the teeth of the pliers marring the figure. So let's see if I can just slide this off for the sake of the video. Well, I don't think it's going to come off. Not enough wiggle room, I don't think. Yep. I think he might have to go back in the bath. See if I can break my own rule. Does not want to come out. Maybe I can separate the arm from the shoulder. Nope. It's got this weird ratchety joint in there that just does not want to release this shoulder. And I know somebody out there is laughing and saying it's really not that hard. But admittedly, I don't take these figures apart too often. Oop, there goes a leg. Alright. Always have a plan B, I guess. Luckily the heat made that pliable enough to slide over the arms. I don't know if you can see that, but there is a spider dive bombing me right there. Just put him on the floor. Alright. Back in there so I can pop that arm back on. And if you're wondering, yes, this is a pain in the butt. That's why I would normally just cut these things off and glue them back on. You can find a seam. I would just run my knife down this seam right here, come around that pouch here, or same thing on the other side, run down that seam, come around and down, and that would hide the cut. And I just glue it back on when I'm done, because sometimes you'll take a vest off of somebody, put it on another guy, and it'll be big and bulky and flop around. I like to just glue it down. If you're wondering what he looks like under the vest, change up that head. This would be a good chest for maybe a croc master or something. I don't know what you guys think, but I'm going to put this vest on him, and it has started to cool down, so it does not want to go. If it rips and tears, I got some really good super glue, which I don't have with me. It's up in my other work area. I'd show you. It's really good stuff. I don't really use super glue that much. If I do, it's the gel. I use this other stuff that dries a lot quicker, or you can just buy an activator, squirt on it, and make it go faster. I'm pretty happy with that. See if I can jam these back on if he's still warm enough. Yep. Nope. Back in the bath. Alright, let's see what we can do for this joker. We might have to take these arms off. Oops. Trying to see if I can separate this torso. It doesn't look like that's easily done. Let's warm that up. Put him back in there. I think my water's starting to cool down a little bit. I am down in the workshop. It's a little cooler down here. I do have an old toaster oven I got from, I believe, Goodwill, that I use for baking parts made out of scalp bead, things like that. I could get a metal tin, put that in the toaster oven, heat it up that way. I don't have a microwave down here yet, but if not, I'll have to, oh, there we go, put you guys on pause Run upstairs to the microwave. But we got that on, so that's him with the new vest on, which I think goes a lot better with these mags. I was going to rip these off. These are just glued on and glued on to that other one, but I like this look a little bit more than the other one. He will be getting, almost did a weapon swap with these guys. You'll see that when we do the live stream. So I swapped the weapons between these two guys a little bit, where Cable's a little bit more futuristic. They have those crappy laser guns, so I gave that to him. Cable's rifle does have a grenade launcher on it, so I gave that to Beachheads. I thought that'd look a little cooler. So you got the grenades here and all that stuff. He's done for right now. Let's work on Cable a little bit here. Maybe say a prayer. See what we can do. This is just not wanting to go on. Yeah, it's too wide. Looks like my water has cooled down too much. It's a good looking vest though. Might be a tight fit, but I won't know until I get this arm back on. There we go. I'm going to let him soak for a little bit more. I may reheat up this water, so we'll be right back again. Alright guys, I guess this is going to be a two-part video where we cut this and put it on that dude, because I'm tired of screwing with this. It's got this weird ratcheting mechanism inside here. It looks like, I don't know, I've pried and pulled on it. It's not really wanting to come out. I don't want to damage the figure any more than I have from prying on it. So what I would normally do is, I have a better blade than this, but this just shows you that you could use anything. I have a blade. It's about the size of like one of these carpenter's pencils. It has a little slider switch on the side. The blade comes out the top, and you can break off the tips as they get dull. It's usually what I would use for something like this, because it's small, gets in there real easy. I can make turns and stuff with it. It's upstairs. I don't feel like getting it, so I'm just going to use this semi-dull blade, but you are going to want a sharp blade, as long as you're adult enough to use it and don't cut your fingers off. So like I said before, I'm just going to make a cut down that seam line, come around this pocket right here, come around that pocket, down the side of it, and then it should just slide right on the figure. Like I said, this blade is pretty dull on the tip. If you can see that the tip is actually missing. These are not to be used as a pry bar. But it is pretty sharp down here at the bottom, so I'm just going to use that part. Alright, and you can see that I cut down to the pocket. Go slow, take your time, because this is going to flex when you're trying to cut it. What you don't want to do is push really super hard, because if that blade starts going, especially a sharp blade, you're going to cut way up into here, and then it's going to look bad. You don't want to ruin a piece. I bought this guy when he first came out. He was like 20 bucks, 25 bucks, something like that. So this is an expensive piece to replace unless you wait till he goes on sale. I only bought this guy. I usually only pick up stuff unless they're on clearance, or you go to a toy shop or whatever, they'll have them slightly cheaper. I just really liked the figure itself, not so much this version of this character. I'm a big Cable fan, just not this one with that cheesy head, but it'll go back on because it's all going to get repainted and stuff. But I thought this was a good base military type figure to use with this like crazy bionic arm. So let me finish cutting around this pocket. And again, this will be easier with one of those smaller blades. And those, I don't know if I said, but you can get a 3-pack of those little slider blades at the dollar store. There's I think it's a Dollar Tree, one of them by the house. I swing through there once every 2 weeks, a month or so, just see what kind of junk they got there for cheap, because you can get a ton of customizing stuff out of there if you just use a little creativity and imagination. You can get super glue gel. I like the gel because the liquid tends to run. It takes a little bit of time to dry, but that's where I used to get my super glue from, was the dollar store. You can also get super glue at Harbor Freight if you got a Harbor Freight by you. I like going to Harbor Freight. You can get a lot of cool stuff there, really super cheap. I got a pair of pliers there that you can take a modern 4-inch Joe figure, pop the torso in probably 3 seconds. It really doesn't damage it too much. So I'll have to show you guys that one of these days once I do one of those figures. But as you can see, this is apart now and doesn't look too bad. A little bit of glue, snap that or glue that back together. It's on the side. I try and do things on the side because it's a little less visible when you have the figure with his arm down, because the arm will hide that for the most part. So let's see if this will fit. I wanted to use these, let's see, I'm working backwards here, I apologize. And now it's telling me my battery's going to die. But you can see it sits a little high on the shoulder because the bottom of this is hitting this belt. I did want to reuse this belt, so let me take a look at that real quick while I change the battery. Sorry about that. It did say it was fully charged. Must be an old one, so I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that. Fresh battery. So what I did is I pop the leg off. That way I can get the belt off and see how far this vest sits down. You can see that the vest is sitting all the way flush now. Looks really good. But it does sit low on the hip, which was where this belt was riding, and I really want to use this belt as has a mag pouch on it. 2 holsters. I got plans for both of those for this figure that I think would be pretty cool. So I want to reuse that. So there's a belt incorporated in with this vest, which is where this one needs to go. So what I'm going to do is take my dull knife. I'm going to cut around the top of this belt as best as I can to keep it looking smooth. And then I'm going to take that belt, I'm going to put it in my fodder box. I never throw anything away. You never know when you're going to need something. I always find a use for something usually. And then what I'll do is I'll just slide this back over, pop the leg back on, and it should be good to go. So give me a second to run the knife around this, and we'll see how it fits. Like I said, if you have a sharp blade, this will go a lot quicker. You just have to be more careful, because some of these thicker parts, like the plastic's a little bit thicker right here, you're going to have to give the knife some more force, and that is going to run away from you once you hit a thinner part of plastic. And like I said, you don't want to be slicing up your expensive parts. Alright, that goes in the fodder box. I don't know what the hell that was. So let's see how this fits now. Fits a lot better. That gives me room to put a belt on there. I just noticed something. So I cut around the edge of the belt. It needs a little bit of trimming here. Not that big of a deal. When I put that on the new figure, it'll go on. I'll clean all that up. But since I had to go around the front of the belt, where it's kind of, I don't know if you can see it, where it kind of like dips down and around, that left a dip in the vest somewhere right here. So I just got to smooth that off with the knife so it looks good. Alright, that's good enough. I'm not going to get overly picky with it. It's just going to sit on a shelf and catch dust. So we'll put that back on. Got that on there. This back on. So that's back on there, and now you can see everything sits flush the way it should. Doesn't look too bad. So that'll be good. And then when we do the live stream, I'll glue that back down. Do some paint touches because I want to get rid of whatever the hell that stupid thing is. Pop his head back on, all that good stuff. The main focus of the video will be the beach head. Since it is Joe related live stream, I'll be doing most of my work on him. Yeah, got a couple ideas for him. So, I guess that's a two-part video where we showed you how to take the arms off of these. This was just a simple peg that goes into the body, which I would assume most figures are. That's how the modern 4-inch figures are. This guy, he's got some kind of weird socket in there I haven't seen before. And not wanting to break it, did the cut method, which you can see is really not that bad. I'll glue that on, and that'll be good. It sits nice and flush. He can still get to his accessories. He'll be good to go. You may be wondering what this is for. This I got off I believe it's an Overwatch figure, some cowboy looking dude who I'll use for another custom for a different line I plan to put him with. But he had this poncho I thought was kind of cool. Cable came with a his own poncho, I think it was. There's like a little hood or something on it or whatever. It's cut out or molded in a way that it goes over top of these grenades. But I looked at it on another figure, and you can probably finagle it in a way that you really can't tell. It's got a little bit of a bump there. But I thought it would be something a little different to put this on him, because this covers the bionic arm, because I believe that other figure had a bionic arm also. So I thought that would be kind of cool to put it on him. I plan on putting him with this other line of action figures. But if I want to put him in with my Joes as a mercenary or something, one of Major Blood's buddies, seeing that he has a bionic arm, I thought this would be good to cover that arm so he can kind of hide it. Of course, this will get repainted in some fashion. So it's kind of cool. Everything else we can go over when I do the figure, so you can see. I don't know if you can see. Let me open this up. So the cable figure comes with this little teddy bear, and it goes on the belt here. I yanked it off because I don't want a teddy bear on my figure, but then I got to thinking I may put it back on, maybe put a wash on it, dirty it up, put it back on the belt, but not glued on. It should just pop on there, and I can have him pop it off, put it in his hand if I want, and now he has an IED. Say there's explosive in there, he can throw that explosive, make a booby trap out of it. So I'll be holding on to that. His head will get a repaint so it doesn't look so much like that shitty Cable figure. These are pieces I cut off of other classified Joes just because I hate these things, and if they come off, they will come off. But they're going to end up on him as body armor. This, I believe, was Beachhead's. Because I think the one with my Duke I kept with Duke. Although I do have a different rifle for Duke. One that looks like his classic version 1 weapon I got 3D printed off a buddy of mine. But I thought this, being more futuristic, he kind of would go with Cable more. He did come with this pistol, and he came with a grenade launcher. He comes with 2 grenade launchers. One I put on the gun. The other one you tuck into this front holster here, I guess, so he can swap them out for whatever freaking reason. I don't know. I came across this pistol somewhere. I have no idea. I got more fodder than I know what to do with, and don't know where I got half of it. But it works pretty well in his hand. I did a test fit. Works pretty good. And it's a big monster cannon that just happens to fit in that holster. So this will probably get chromed out. I don't know if I want to put pearl grips on it or what. I'll figure that out as I go. So that's going to be that dude. Beachhead has a lot of his own same gear. Just give you a little preview of what we'll be doing in the live stream here. So, he does come with the standard Joe pistol, but his is all green, and I didn't like that. So this is the one from my Duke figure, because I took that holster off of Duke. I didn't like it on the figure. But that holster is all green, so I put the all green pistol with the all green holster. This one goes a little bit better with Beachhead's gear because it's kind of dark. I will repaint it to get rid of that stupid gold that's on it. So he'll keep his own backpack. I'm not going to modify this like I've done with other ones, just because I like it the way it is. I don't really even know if I'm going to detail any of this stuff out. I kind of like it all being blacked out. This, I'll do a little bit of paint on. I'll probably put a black grip on that, black out the string. It's probably about it for that, because that'll plug in there. These are binoculars, I believe came from Duke. They're the ones that go on his belt. Either gonna knock out a little hole in his vest so I can make this removable with that peg that's on it, or I might just cut that peg off and glue it on there because I'm really not gonna take it off anyway. But that's gonna sit right there. I figure that has enough room next to the bullets. And then his knife will just go back in the leg sheath. These shin guards, those are going to come off. They come off. I got plans to put these on a different figure, but that's something for down the road. The thigh holster will stay. The mag pouch, I don't know. I did have an idea of cutting it off, putting it on up here, but then I remembered I had these binoculars, so I may just leave that on his thigh just to balance it out, kind of thing. I don't think I'm going to do much painting of him, just because I kind of like it the way it is. But we'll see. So that's why I got 2 projects here, because he might just be a quick kit bash. So this is the gun that came with cable. I think it looks pretty cool. This does come off, but it'll get glued on. There's 2 versions of this. I think the other one ended up in my fodder bin already, but this is the better, more traditional looking one. I just think this is a pretty cool looking gun. It's got that muzzle brake on it. Pretty good detail. It's a lot bigger than the one that would come with Beachhead. I think it's slightly too big for him. It is a kind of monstrous weapon, but I think it looks pretty good. I don't know. I like to get a little crazy sometimes. So I'll leave it with him until I find something better or what. But any hooch, that's what I got for you. I'm not sure when we're going to do the next live stream. We're planning on doing one a month for now. But the next one will be me doing this stuff I just showed you. Paul has a Storm Shadow figure, I believe. Oops, what am I doing? That he wants to just do some paint updates on, little minor touches. I don't think that's going to fit in there. And Jim is going to do a little video on how to make bitchin' dioramas for these guys. So stay tuned for that. We'd like to have you guys join us because we are doing this for you guys. So it's good to have your feedback on what you guys like, what you guys want to learn. Give us some tips you may have. Every time I do something, I learn a little bit. If there's something I want to do, I ask or YouTube it. So stay tuned for that post and join us for the live stream, and we'll have some good times. Not sure what the next live stream after that would be. We'll figure that out and we'll let you guys know. But until then, you guys have a good night, and thank you for watching.